Hi, everyone. There's very few left in the audience after all the interesting sessions that are there. Hopefully, I can keep it interesting. So we're going to talk about personalization of data, how to use data creatively in this scenario. Everybody loves a story. I think I'll start with a story so that the session can be more interesting. So this is about one of our clients in North America. It's an entertainment company which distributes anime movies in the US. For those who don't know anime, it's Japanese animation movies. And the basic thing that they do is they get these anime movies and they would distribute it across US. There's no science, there's no maths. But again, remember, they will not distribute it across all the theaters in the US, given the number of theaters that are there in the US. So what we suggested was, let's take a scientific approach to kind of look at how we can kind of look at where these movies need to be released. Now remember, the fan base for these anime movies is very, very specific. Not everybody is. It's a very curated segment that is there. The first thing that we did was to kind of look at which is the customer segment that is going to be interested in this particular movie. Remember, we had the database of these customers, but we knew who liked these particular directors, what is the genre of movies, what is the kind of content that they have been kind of looking at. Once you identified that, the next thing that we looked at was to use geospatial analytics, try to find out where are these people located and which is the theaters which are near them. Kind of do a one-on-one map to kind of map these people closer to them. So right now, what I have at one place is customer data, a segmented data, a curated data, and then what I'm kind of doing is looking at geospatial data to kind of bring it together to identify which are the people who are interested in these kind of movies and where do they live at, and which are the theaters which are near them. Now, bringing it all together, we started sending personalized communication to each one of them, the one that we have selected. Writing to them, each one saying that, there is a new movie coming up, and these people are really, really crazy about this particular segment of movies. I'm talking about anime. And when they started kind of coming together, when they started realizing there's a new release coming up of the feature that they liked, and this personalized communication they got, they were quite excited. There was one more step that we did. We actually also wrote to people whose data we did not have, where we said, okay, there's going to be people who are within that particular geography, and then there is people who we did not have that kind of an information, and then we reached out to them as well. What happened was, the movie made a box office business of almost 5 times a previous movie which was not driven by analytics. It was the highest average revenue per screen in the week 1, and the personalized rates we started, the rates that we started getting the response to it was much, much higher than before any time. How was this all possible? This did not happen in a day, obviously. So there is a 6-point activation that Kantar uses. The first one and the most important one was building the foundation of data, and that is where it all started. When we started building this data, we asked a very simple question. Can you tell me the sales of your business? And the first thing, so the marketing team had one, the CEO had another one, the operations had another one, the finance team another one. We had 5 sales numbers, 5 revenue numbers for the same company from different departments. And this was the reason why we said, let's stop everything else, let's get the database correct first. So what we did was clean the data, got the databases together, harmonized the data, and we had one single source of truth. And that was the most important part. All others can follow. The second thing what we did was, did a consumer segmentation. What were these based on? What were their purchase behavior? what was the content that they liked, what was their demographics, what was their lifestyle, their interaction with the communication that we used to send out. All that got curated, and we were able to segment customers based on these particular different features. Once we were able to do that, we also built a consumer feedback system. My friend Puneet just talked about how important a survey data is. This is, you might say, transaction data generally never gets married with survey data. This is one area where we actually introduced feedback system. How are people, and this was we were able to talk and understand what were their satisfaction levels, how were they scoring on NPS, why were they dissatisfied with things, what is the kind of content they liked, how was their reviews on the system. This became a feedback loop into this data, and at every different given points of time, be it they're buying something, they want to kind of stop their subscription, this survey used to be triggered. And this not only enriched the data, this actually gave us very, very valuable feedback to actually stop attrition. Whenever we found that there were like soft clues or a soft flag was raised for an attrition, we could actually generate some kind of communication. The fourth one was engaging consumers with eCRM to personalize marketing. Understand where the customer is in their life cycle. What is the lifetime value? How could I try to kind of increase their, what are the kind of offers that I could send across to him? Where are they on their lifetime value with me? How can I kind of increase it, cross-sell it, upsell it? Which brings me to the next point of activation of marketing activities towards him or her. And the last and not the least is tracking it. What the speakers before said, see the data and kind of question it. We will actually look at what is the data being kind of told to us and what is being shown to us so that we can actually take action, go back. The reason why I gave you this format of telling this business story first and told you what is the loop is where actually a lot of questions get unanswered. Everybody wants a data strategy. But my question is, what is the question you're trying to answer? You first get the business question up front, and your data strategy will follow. Here, the first thing that we did was ask everybody, what are the business strategy or what are the business questions you want to tackle? And we got the data ready at that level. It was so granular that you could cut and slice the data at any level. And you could also aggregate it at any level. And that helped answer a lot of business questions. What you got at the end of the day, when you take all the data together, is what we call as a segment of one. You get social reviews, you get demographic, you get psychographic, you get all different kinds of data that is there. And this, when you get it all together, and this is what people suffer from. We don't get all the data. This is the best case scenario. When we get this, we get the segment of one. We understand who that consumer is, and you can actually talk to that particular customer then and there. Let me move on quickly to the next one. What is agile marketing? So there is this international bank which wanted to do a campaign marketing. They got the data together. They got everything together. They got the legal approval. They started talking to their marketing team. They started getting their campaign tool ready. Everything was done. And finally, they were ready in 8 weeks. In a world where, the attention span on a video lasts less than 2 minutes. On a page, it lasts less than 1 minute. 8 weeks is too much. What is agile marketing? Agile marketing is obviously bringing the concept of project management of agile and try to kind of make the change every 2 weeks or every week made based upon the definition you can define there. And where you can stop and change, you are adaptable to change. Those are the things that you should actually look at when you're talking about agile marketing. I'll give you one example before I wrap up. So there was this retail company. They were getting almost competitive pricing every 2 hours. And they would take around a week to change their pricing. You understand what I'm trying to say? They're getting pricing decisions every 2 hours. They're taking almost a week to change it. And by that time, you know how many times the prices have changed. And that was leading to a big loss for them. They were behind against their competition. So what did they do? Let's find out. Again, we created the data mart, but we used ML and AI where we could actually bring in and take that data, implement rates, the price change against the competition to our products, our categories that were there. We could benchmark against the categories. The end benefit was from 4 days, we were able to also respond in 2 hours. The other thing that happened was they didn't have to look at all their portfolio. They looked at 20%, which brought 80% of the revenue. I'll leave you with one final anecdote. So there is a catch to if you leave everything to artificial intelligence. So there was this one product which the competition had, and they had just one SKU. So what happened was, they wanted to get rid of it, so they discounted it by 90%. So what did the AI do? We had 10,000 of them. They discounted our 10,000 at 90%. Fortunately, our anomaly detection system found it and stopped it right there. Else, it would have been a big loss. So don't leave everything to artificial intelligence. There is sometimes you need to step in as well. So as I said, there is personalized data where you can get creative by bringing in other pieces of data. There is survey, there is geospatial, there is so much other things out there. But it all goes back to what is the business question you're trying to answer. That is where it should start, not at what data I should put in the data lake. I can dump everything, I can match everything. All the engineers can do it. All the data engineers are here to put the data together. My question to you is, what is the business question you're trying to answer? And when you're trying to do agile marketing, is your marketing ready to change and adapt to new systems and get back really fast at the changing scenario that is happening? That's my time, folks. Thank you.